Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome back to this series where I'm sharing favorite trump cards from my tarot library. And today's topic is the Lovers. And I have quite a few things to share with you today, some resources, many thoughts, and this could be a bit of a ramble, so grab a cup of tea, whatever is your pleasure, and please join in the conversation. My name is Sadhana, if you're new to my channel, and sharing my thoughts on tarot is one of my great pleasures. Yeah, this is, I feel, one of the most misunderstood cards in the tarot. And today I want to try to explain how I work with it as a tarot reader and as a life coach. This concept, the sixth arcanum. And we have many brilliant ways to see this card through tarot studies and to actually study this archetype through the tarot. And it's kind of brilliant. Yeah. All right. So where to begin? We have quite a diversity of lovers cards or lover cards in the tarot. There is either a separation between the couple and they are on opposite sides of the card, making no contact with one another, or they are intimately entwined, sometimes so much that you cannot see one for the other, and everything in between. And I would like to try and tackle all of this in as succinct a way as possible today. Welcome, Arya. Namaste. Lovely to have met you in person yesterday in class. All right. On the far left is the Lover's card from Tarot Key. Oh my goodness. Yes, Tarot Key Fine della Torre. Which is a restoration of a very old deck that predates the Noble. And we see a couple meeting in a square. And they are separated by a fountain that looks like two cups. And Cupid, or Eros overhead, is shooting an arrow towards the young maiden. So all of that's kind of familiar iconography. And the symbols here are really quite clever. I love that in this card, that is so very, very old, we have this connection between the Two of Cups and the two people. There's something about this particular Lover's card that really works with me. And there is so much we could discuss. And one of the brilliant things that I've tried to explore in some of my courses is this Gemini association of the lovers, and the fact that Gemini precedes Cancer, and the first decan of Cancer is the Two of Cups. So the Lovers flows into the Two of Cups. And if you want to dive deeper into this, please have a look at my website. I've got lots of courses and different ways you might want to tackle your understanding of this. So my question is, why? Why do we enter into relationship? And what is it about relationship and love and lovers that is the most predominant question that is asked of any tarot reader? It is, I believe it's a yearning to find wholeness and to return to the one, undoubtedly. we see and in those cards where we see two couples intertwined, it almost looks as if it is a yin and a yang symbol, so cleverly painted in the Mariel Tarot in the center. But I want to say something else. I want to say that it's not so much to find a completeness, but to learn, to understand that I already am complete. So we enter into a relationship to learn more about ourselves so that we can be more comfortable in ourselves, so that we love ourselves more. And this is such a touchy topic for a lot of people because it sounds utterly selfish. We enter into a relationship so we can love ourselves more. It's not about giving ourselves to the other. Well, yeah, there's all of that that's involved, and it's very complicated. But one of the complex, not necessarily complicated, one of the things here in the Lover's card is this understanding that I'm at. It doesn't mean you're going to find the love of your life. It means this is a card that reflects relationship and the importance of exploring relationship to learn something about yourself. And we see in the Numinous Tarot that love comes in many forms. And the possibility of learning to love oneself can come through a platonic relationship. It can come through a same-sex relationship. It can come through marrying somebody or being in a relationship with somebody 30 years older or 30 years younger. It can come in so many different forms. And I like that extension of the concept of love in this card. I think we need to recognize that the lover or the lover's card isn't about the other one that we're going to find. It's about an initial statement of the development of love within yourself. Okay, good morning, Patrice and Dee. Namaste. Okay, so now I'm going to read to you from Sri Sundari Lahari. And I'm going to go here. And I'm also going to put a card I no longer have in my library on the screen as I read. This is very deep sadhana, if you will, practice. This whole book tome is reflections on a mantra that would be a year-long study about your relationship with Shiva and Shakti. And it's written by Swami Satya Sangananda Saraswati, affectionately known as Swami Satsangi, who is my guru, the one who initiated me and gave me the name Sadhana. Okay. And just a little bit, I promise. So in the Hush Tarot, this is a painting of Radha and Krishna. And the story of Radha and Krishna is one of deep connection. And there are many tales, many myths of Radha and Krishna in the yogic texts, in Hindu mythology. It's a beautiful love story. And he, if you want to use pronouns, searched for her through eons to find this relationship. And this is a relationship of complete and utter connection and inextricable love. They are one without they are not without each other. Shiva is the one of the I'm going to use the word in yogic studies rather than Hindu, because it's not religious, it's more energetic, for the masculine, divine masculine energy, and Shakti for the divine feminine energy. Shiva is saturated with Shakti, and Shakti with Shiva. They are not just united, because union presupposes two separate entities coming together. But that is not the case. Shakti is inherent in Shiva, just as butter is inherent in milk. When milk is churned, the butter is exposed. Even though butter existed in the milk prior to that, it could not be distinguished as a separate entity. That is the relationship of Shiva and Shakti. Just as a crystal takes on the reflection of anything that it rests upon, in the same way, Shakti takes on the reflection of Shiva and Shiva of Shakti. So the first important point to note in this relationship is that Shiva and Shakti permeate each other in such a profound manner that they cannot be distinguished and appear as one at the macrocosmic level. They cannot be distinguished and appear as one at the macrocosmic level. At the microcosmic level, they appear to separate in order to manifest the entire creation. And although they never really separate and forever exist as one homogeneous stream of consciousness and energy. Sorry, I'm not reading my punctuation very well. The second point to note is the subject matter of the opening verse of Sundari Lahari. If it were not for Shakti, the inherent power of Shiva, that homogeneous stream of consciousness would forever remain motionless and inert. There would be no vibration, which is the very basis of motion. Shiva, devoid of Shakti, does not have the power to vibrate or set itself in motion. Thus it is motionless, timeless, and eternal, as opposed to Shakti, which is motion, time, and both eternal and transient. And in drawing this card, we have an invitation to begin to understand what this might mean. Now, of course, it's not going to be at this level, but I think as a tarot reader, we have a responsibility to step back a little bit, to educate, to teach, to support. And you will never see on my channel, you will never see when I'm doing readings at a market that this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't do that. I really love to dive deep and to support and to ask hard questions and to share. So, yeah. So this is what I want to explore with people when this card arises. Okay, so the decks that are on the table, and I'm going to say that as a concept, that this card, if I still had this deck, would be on the table as one of my top 5. you know what? And I might rebuy the deck just for this card to have for teaching. And I know I have something very similar in the lovely Om Tarot, but I really do like this, this art. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, this is the Bolognese Fine dalla Torre. This is the Primordial Tarot, and I haven't visited this deck for some time. And when I was going through my library, I pulled out probably 8 cards from this deck. And one of my contemplations is to continue this series beyond the World card and do this for all 78 cards of the tarot. But even within the major arcana, there are at least 4 of the cards from this deck that I will share with you. And I think this one is absolutely, it's brilliant. They are looking in the same direction. They are one. The potential for this experience is, I don't know, this card really, really moves me. This is from the beautiful Rebellion Tarot by Robin Cole. It is from a painting by Leighton. And Robin Cole says, the painting is called Wedded. Wedded screams of that kind of deep, dedicated partnership to me. Love isn't all about all-out desire and getting down and dirty, though in my opinion it can and should be sometimes. Other times just leaning into the casual embrace of your soulmate is all you need to remind you that you have made a decision to share all that you are and all that you will be with another person, and that they share that back with you in turn. So we are always holding space for one another to grow. In the Marielle Tarot, I mean, this card just, it's so extraordinary. And I think it really speaks to some of the concepts in the Lover's card in the Numinous Tarot. This is the Numinous here. That regardless of age or sexual orientation or ethnic or religious background, you are the yin to my yang, and I am the yang to your yin. And yet, within me, all of this exists. This old man is who I am, and this gorgeous, young, vibrant woman is also who I am. And I, not we are one, I am one. You know, back in the day when I was getting married, and I've always had a very global perspective of spirituality, but my ex-husband grew up in the Catholic Church, and I agreed. We did marriage preparation in the United Church in Vancouver, Canada, and I also agreed to do it in the Catholic Church. And I remember the priest who was leading the classes said, this is about turning the word me upside down, so me becomes we. And now I'm thinking of that, and this idea that I am all of that. I am we, and you are we. And it's just such a brilliant thing to ponder over. I want to highlight Dee's comment here. Basic instinct. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the need to feel in control of our lives, even when it is obvious that we don't. And of course, a lot of this, what I'm saying, doesn't come to the conscious awareness level. But the more you do this work, the more I don't know, it's kind of beautiful to sit with it and contemplate it. The card that's hiding underneath is Freya, and this is from the Dark Goddess Tarot. And in this myth, Freya searched the earth high and low. Freya, the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty, goddess of many things, high and low for her husband, who had been transformed into a sea monster. And was in utter joy when she found him and they were reunited again. And when I reread this brief version of this myth yesterday in the Dark Goddess book, I smiled because I couldn't figure out why I had chosen this card. But I think this is about those kind of relationships where we learn so much about another. And this might be your partner. And in a way, it could be, your mother, any dear soul in your life that you would never separate from, regardless of their physical well-being or how they transformed or deformed. I had at least two women that I know that were in relationships with men. Actually, one of them is still alive, much, much, much older than them. And, they went through actually, I can think of three, their whole life, the whole relationship, as through the life of the older partner, with such scrutiny and people saying awful things about the relationship. And I can say from knowing these women well that there was so much tenderness and care, and the reason for the relationship lifted and opened and grew both partners equally. And it's interesting that Freya and the sea monster, Freya and her husband, also, it creates the shape of a heart. But I'm sure you can also imagine these bodies morphing into the shape of the yin and yang symbol. We have the blue and the red. We also have the reversal of colors. So if you see blue as feminine and red as masculine, they are reversed. It's a symbol of wholeness. And it's really interesting. Arya, I think it was you, if you're still here. I had this card on the table the other day when I was doing my Lovers Talk in the Tarot de Marseille series. And if it wasn't you, somebody else in the chat, observed how barren it was in the Vesica Piscis. And I have had this card out since that day, and I really need to sit with it because I wonder why it's not arranged so that the two floral pieces are on the inside. And I think that somehow symbolically that would make a much better card. D. The romance questions I see on tarot channels are all about loss of control, because the question is usually, is my partner cheating on me? Yeah. So obviously this card's not going to appear in the reading. Yeah. All right, so the other card I have is from Le Tarot. Au revoir étrange. And this is La Maru in that card. And this card, when I saw it, just melted my heart. Just melted my heart. This card is my number one lover's card that I have ever seen. It is such a statement to love. It is such a statement to. Ooh, I do have one other thing before I wind up. I want to share. I want to just say something about the Tree of Life and the Golden Dawn. So bear with me, because this was another thing that I think I'm going to put a. Hopefully, yes, I do. I have that window open still. Okay. All right. So now I know there's different trees of lives, and the paths of the tarot fall on different trees. But in the Golden Dawn, the Lover's card goes from the third Sephira of Binah, Saturn, the Queens, the threes, to the six. So the Lover's goes from 3 to 6, which on so many levels fits beautifully because 6 flows into 6. The planet, the luminary here is the sun. The energy of the threes is... it's the queens, it's the divine mother, it's Binah. And so Binah flows towards the sun representing the solar energy, the divine masculine energy. So in this way, the Lover's card is a path between the Great Mother and the Great Father. Now, why is the Lover's card not between 2 and 3? And my answer to that is because that is the supernal triangle. It is not a place of manifest. It's not the manifest world. It's the unreachable world. And so the Lover's card brings this energy into all that is manifest. This particular Sephira is also the equivalent to the heart chakra. And so the path of the Lovers has the potential to flow into the union of the heart space, which is also represented by the Star of David, the hexagram, the union of the upward and downward facing triangles. That is the mandala, or part of the mandala for the heart chakra. So understanding all of this gives you so much more information to talk about when this card appears. Okay. I will show you I will pick my top 5, but before I do that, I want to say that I got this deck last summer. And I think the reason that I love, and there's a walkthrough of this deck on my channel, it makes me so happy. I edged it in yellow. And if you, let me move my mic so it doesn't go all funky. If you don't know the energy of Hilda was a, this is such a beautiful Two of Cups card. Why I'm sharing this with you is because I think this entire deck evokes the energy of the card in Tarot of the Strange Branches. And so if you are working with this archetype, I think it might be really good to have a deck that gives you permission to explore yourself exactly as you are, to love yourself, to learn to grow with yourself, to play with yourself, to not be too hypercritical, to truly be you. And ultimately, isn't this what this card is all about? So I said my number 1 is the Tarot of the Strange Branches. I am definitely going to include the Marielle and the primordial. So there are 3, 4. There we go. There are my top 5 lovers card. Left to right, beautiful rebellion, primordial, le tarot or amour étrange, and sorry for my French, and the Marielle and the Numinous tarot. Thank you for your attentiveness, and I look forward to your comments after, where you have every right to disagree, to expand, challenge, and all of that. Thank you. Take good care of yourselves. Namaste.